I have a confession. I actually really like this year's Call of Duty. That's right, nothing in life is certain besides death, taxes, and a yearly Call of Duty release. Now, I usually don't cover big FPSs like COD here on my channel, but this year has honestly been relatively light. A lot of what I usually cover, like RPGs or strategy games, have been fairly disappointing, not only in the amount released, but the quality of what we have received. Yeah, looking at you, Dragon Age the Veilguard, and like Dragon's Dogma 2, both pretty disappointing for me. So here I am, playing and covering Call of Duty, and yeah, I'm actually having a pretty good time. And it's not like I never play Call of Duty. I play it like every other year when they actually come out with something decent, and I've been playing it ever since the first Call of Duty back in 2003. Yeah, I'm that old. I've watched COD evolve through the golden days of Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and now into its current state with the occasional bangers, but then absolute doo-doo like last year's Modern Warfare 3, or MW3, whatever they call it. Also, yeah, I know I'm like super late with this review, but I'm just some dude with a life and stuff, and I just like to play video games at my own leisure, so I like to occasionally touch grass. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at Call of Duty Black Ops 6. There really isn't anything too crazy or in-depth to cover, so I'll go ahead and keep this review relatively brief, but Black Ops 6 just does enough to make it feel fun and fresh while nailing everything that makes a Call of Duty game good. It just ends up being a very, very solid entry into the series. And if you haven't already, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Like I said, I don't usually cover games like COD, but I just generally like to cover whatever I'm playing at the moment or whatever has its hooks into me. I just love to talk about video games, and if you do too, hit me with a sub and also drop a comment below. What do you think of Call of Duty or the Seattle Seahawks or anything really? Just say what's up. All right, yes, Call of Booby Backshots 6. Does it have me bricked up? It sure does. So, Black Ops 6, as with most Call of Duties nowadays, it is separated into 3 different game modes: the campaign, the multiplayer, and the zombies. I'll go ahead and tackle each, take a look at them individually, and then give the game a final score out of 10. Quickly though, I do want to touch on the technical state of Black Ops 6, as this is applicable across all game modes. Unsurprisingly, Black Ops 6 runs and looks fantastic. Played it on PS5 and encountered virtually no bugs. There were some minor visual things in multiplayer lobbies, such as people's ranks not showing correctly, but nothing that really affected gameplay. Microsoft definitely has a small army working on these Call of Duty games, and you can tell because Black Ops 6, it's polished, it looks great, and it runs well. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go and look at our first game mode, and the one that is most seemingly overlooked nowadays, the campaign. I've always been a casual Call of Duty campaign enjoyer. The good ones are like really big, fun, big budget action or war movies. Here in Black Ops 6, they really embrace the spy thriller theme of Black Ops compared to the more wartime stories of other Call of Duty campaigns. However, I would say the campaign here is the weakest of the 3 modes, but it's not bad. Now, it really starts off strong. The setting and the story are interesting. It takes place in the post-Cold War early 90s, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen a Call of Duty tackle this specific time period yet. The first few missions are quite good, with my personal favorite being one where you have to infiltrate a fucking Bill Clinton rally. Like, how cool is that? However, the second half really starts to get a little wonky, and the last few missions just completely fall off a cliff. I'm not going to spoil anything, but essentially the tone just takes a dramatic shift from a more grounded spy thriller to like a surreal acid trip. Between missions, you'll return to the hub area or the Rook, where you can talk to characters, upgrade your loadouts, and find some secrets. This is just alright. It's something we've seen a million times before, and Black Ops 6 doesn't do anything special to help it stand out. And Treyarch does do a few things here to try and make this campaign stand out, like one level is kind of open world and you'll drive around the desert, going to different points of interest and completing side objectives. In the end though, that's not what I want out of a Call of Duty campaign. I want a more on-rails, set-piece focused experience. This isn't an Ubisoft game, get this out of here. All in all, the campaign, it's a fun little distraction from the main meat, but it's nothing too special. All right, now multiplayer, this is the big one. Multiplayer is why the majority of people play Call of Duty. Historically, my feelings on Call of Duty multiplayer has always been hot and cold, but there is usually something that can hook me. The progression is what usually gets me, and it always scratches some primordial itch in my ape brain. I've always loved trying out all the different guns, leveling them up, unlocking new attachments, and getting dope skins. Here in Black Ops 6, it's as strong as ever. The gun roster is pretty strong, and there's only more on the way. The 90s time period does allow for some understandable and cool gun customization while still giving it a more classic tone. Along with the guns, you have your field upgrades, lethal and tactical throwables, perks, etc. This is all relatively the same with a slightly updated perk system that rewards you for picking perks of the same color with a bonus perk on top of that. I will say I wasn't a huge fan of this because it does discourage players from experimenting and creating more interesting loadouts. I felt like I never wanted to mix and match my perks because I didn't want to lose that bonus perk, even if it was only just a slight buff. When it comes to the moment-to-moment gameplay and shooting, this is your classic Call of Duty affair. The shooting in COD has always been an industry best, and they keep that standard here. It's tight, it's responsive, it's satisfying. Shooting an AK versus a pistol versus a shotgun all feel very proper. The time to kill is about standard for COD. It is slightly longer than the Modern Warfare reboots, which does allow a bit more of a high-octane gameplay and synergizes well with the new movement system. Speaking of, the movement here has received the big Omni movement update. I was worried this would make gameplay feel super sweaty, and you know, there still is those people out there, but taking a more slow and tactical approach is 100% still viable. I couldn't tell you how many times I killed some clown out in the open just sliding around like P. Diddy just oiled him up. Personally, I like to switch it up. Sometimes I'll run and gun with my Tonto, sometimes I like to mount up with my AK. I will say the Omni movement makes moving around these maps super slick, and when you do pull off some cool shit, you truly do feel like an action hero. And this leads me to the maps, which a lot of people have been very critical of. I will say that a good handful do feel very awkward. However, I appreciate what Treyarch was doing here. You can tell they definitely wanted to shake things up a bit with the map design, and some land and some don't. I definitely don't think the maps are awful like some critics do, but then again, I'm just a very casual Black Ops 6 player, so the more hardcore might not like the unbalanced approach. The progression is great, the gameplay is great, the maps are different, and I appreciate that they were trying some new things, so for a casual player such as myself, it doesn't detract from the experience. All in all though, the multiplayer, it's just a damn good time, and it's Call of Duty at its best. And finally, let's go and talk about the zombies. Again, not a hardcore zombie guy, but I'm very much the casual enjoyer. I remember many long nights in the original World at War Zombies mode, which compared to now seems very bare bones. It's definitely evolved, and I've played quite a bit here in Black Ops 6. Zombies here comes with 2 maps, with one more I think coming soon. And what's here, they are a lot of fun, and surprisingly expansive, especially Terminus, which even has islands around the main area that you can take a boat to. I was not expecting that much content. The gameplay, unsurprisingly, is also top-notch. There's nothing quite as satisfying as headshotting a train of zombies or getting one of the wonder weapons pack-a-punched up to the maximum. The wonder weapons themselves are all very cool, with of course the classic ray gun still in the mix. Very happy to see all that. Each map comes complete with your Easter eggs, which I have no idea how people figure these out. I swear Treyarch has to leak these or something because they are very intricate. But with a good group of friends, they're pretty fun to pull off and get everyone kitted out. There's also this sort of meta progression where you can select certain research to progress, unlocking extra sub perks underneath your colas or field upgrades that can even further increase your strength. I do like how they have something else here to grind outside of just trying to reach the maximum level every time. Not really sure how much staying power the zombies mode has for me personally over say the multiplayer, but all in all, it's a damn good time to run with a good group of fans, and it definitely serves as a nice break from the multiplayer. And there you have it, my opinions on Call-of-Duty Big Stonks 6. I told you I'd keep it pretty brief because I am by no means a huge first-person shooter multiplayer guy, but I do enjoy, and I am really enjoying this year's Call of Duty. Hey, sue me, cancel me. With all that, I'd give Call of Duty Black Ops 6 a solid 8 out of 10. It's a great game, If you haven't played Call of Duty for a while and are interested in returning, similar to myself, then this one's definitely good for that. It's Call of Duty gameplay at its best. It's introduced some things to make it feel fresh enough and increase the octane, but not enough to make it super sweaty and unenjoyable for more casuals. It is bringing me back a bit to those good old days of hopping on Modern Warfare 2 with the boys and braving a public lobby.
Tell me what to use, huh? Tell me what to use. You pussy. That's right. Yum, 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 yum. I eat dick all day.
But I'm not saying it's like the greatest either. Black Ops 6 hasn't reached Snipers on Rust level yet. And I probably won't be covering every year's Call of Duty, especially because every other year is usually just a fucking turd. So I'm guessing next year's will probably be ass, but we will see. Also, next year has an insane amount of great games in the pipeline, so I doubt I'll even have time for next year's Call of Duty. I'll be too busy playing GTA 6, Civilization 7, or Ghosts of Yotei. Jeez. Next year's about to be tough on the wallet. Avowed too, that looks good. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.